Yep, the Deadpool 3 trailer is finally out and has brought various reveals, new characters, and plot points. So I'll keep the intro short and get straight to business with the major findings, reveals, and theories that I could get my hands on from the trailer. It's the only movie to be released under the Marvel Studios banner this year. Needless to say, it's gonna be big and has many connections with the old man Logan comics. So let's get started. Let's effing go. Before we go to our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
I'll leave. Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me, right?
Why is Logan way out of character? Clearly, Wolvie is way out of character in this one. The trailer starts with Wolverine sitting at a bar, getting drunk up to his damned adamantium bones. This is in line with Logan's introductions and cameos in many of the Fox X-Men movies, but he's just not respected here. I mean, the bartender tells him that he's not welcome there. In fact, he's not welcome anywhere for that matter, so it is not a personal issue that the bartender has with Logan, but something that runs deep. He's clearly done something that has affected the community as a whole, and he's now facing the heat for it. I'm pretty glad that Wolverine got the attention he deserved after being mostly absent in the teaser trailer. In fact, the latter part of the trailer describes the grave folly Logan made, which could be inspired by old man Logan. Now, many believe that Logan might be drinking at Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Children, a bar from the first two Deadpool movies where mercenaries can accept jobs and payments in cash, but that seems unlikely because Deadpool drops in at the bar and we know that he's been traveling in time in between universes. Anyway, after this, Wolverine kinda begs for one last drink before he leaves, and this is so out of character, man. I mean, this guy is the man, the mutant, the legend, and he knows it. He is known for his macho nature, so if he's not protesting the disrespect and is just asking for a drink in exchange for getting out of there, he probably accepts whatever mistake he has made in the past. Thankfully, we get an insight into that too.
Now, look, lady, I'm not interested. All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick.
Why does Deadpool need Wolverine? As I've said, the trailer is big on plot points than the teaser. Naturally, in this one, Deadpool makes it clear that he needs Wolverine for saving his world. In fact, he tells him later in the trailer that he's an X-Men. In fact, he's the X-Man. Now, that's a subtle reference to Hugh Jackman's Logan in the Fox movies, which were not really centered around Jackman, but he was still the major driving force. The films probably would not have had a lot of power in them without his claws. Deadpool has come to Wolverine mostly because the latter has the experience in world-saving gigs. In fact, Wolverine also has experience with time-traveling shenanigans. Also, Deadpool mentioned that he did not know the first thing about that. I mean, he kinda did that in the second movie, but yeah, guess he's being humble or just doing some good old lip service. The trailer did not reveal exactly how his universe may just go down to crap, but it definitely has to do something with the film's main villain, and who's that? Yep, Professor X's evil twin, who he once killed in the womb. Well, sort of, but more of that in just a bit.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere.
What did Wolverine do in the past, and why does everyone hate him in his universe? So Wolverine's world experienced some real bad crap. That too because of him. This has been established in the trailer because when Deadpool asks for Wolverine's help, the clawed mutant seems hesitant. In fact, he asks the lady in red, aka Deadpool, to just go away, but later we see the two of them in their costumes. Wolverine was in his classic comic book look. Oh, side note, his sleeves are still on, they come off later, which is as close to his comic book look as possible. Anyway, so Deadpool tells Wolverine that he's about to lose everything he ever cared about, and Wolverine simply discards it because, as he said, it was not his effing problem. Deadpool asks him if that's what he said when his world went to shit. The next scene takes us to an open field with giant structures that could very well be tombstones. Now here's the interesting thing, in the Old Man Logan comics, the villain all act as a team. Mysterio uses this opportunity to make Wolverine believe that the bad guys have infiltrated the X-Mansion. When he goes inside, he kills everyone present there, only to later realize that he has been tricked and the people he was killing were actually his fellow X-Men. After this, he finds himself in a post-apocalyptic world, and the story continues from there. However, did Wolverine really kill his fellow mutants in his universe? Did he cause more deaths? The reason I am speculating that is that the character played by Matthew McFadden explains in the background, telling Deadpool how Logan was a letdown, while we see a shot of a younger Logan lamenting at his open field. This gives Wolverine's visit to the bar more meaning. He is there to drown his sorrows in alcohol. I'm not sure if this mess could be undone with a TVA involved and all that, but this sense of responsibility will probably drive Wolverine to help Deadpool. Speaking of open fields, there's one more location in the trailer that deserved due attention, and Marvel fans have seen it before. What role does the Void have? One of the most iconic scenes from the trailer is the one where Wolverine strikes his claws into the nuts of Marvel Jesus. But where does this fight take place? Well, yes, it is the Void from the Loki TV show. Well, it is basically a point at the end of time itself, where all things discarded in the Marvel Universe are sent. When the Time Variance Authority resets a timeline or prunes it, it is impossible to destroy all the matter of that timeline. So, they move it to the Void, a place where those things would not continue to grow. You can see the Fox Century logo in the backdrop of the Void battle between the two titular characters. It also seems that the main villain's lair is also in the Void, but what's got fans freaking out is her lair, so let's talk about who she is. Who's the main villain? Well, it's confirmed that the main villain is Cassandra Nova, who, as I mentioned earlier, is the evil twin of Professor X. You see, the fetus Charles Xavier realized that she was pure evil and the exact darker variant of himself, so he tried to kill her in the womb itself, and she barely managed to protect herself. Their mother had a miscarriage, and the doctor said Cassandra was stillborn, but she had actually survived and was growing as a mass of cells in the sewer walls. Eventually, she managed to create a body for herself and vowed to take revenge from Charles and the mutant kind in general. Needless to say, she is extremely powerful and has the powers of Charles Xavier, the ones he could have had and the ones he might have received as a result of latent mutation. This grants her a wide range of psionic powers. These powers include telepathy, telekinesis, and the ability to release an astral form which focuses on both her telepathy and telekinesis. What's up with Cassandra Nova and the Giant Man Skull? You see, in the Old Man Logan comics, there was a panel where we get to see a giant man skeleton in the icy wilderness. It was just there decaying. It seems that Wolverine and Deadpool has taken the inspiration from the comic and made a giant man skull Cassandra's abode. The fact that Scott Lang died in his giant form is just crazy. What's crazier is that Cassandra is leaving no stone unturned to make a mockery of the giant Avenger's death. Did she kill him? If yes, is she planning to use the titular characters to kill more mutants, or maybe she wants them to kill the Avengers? Or is it possible that Wolverines killed his world's Avengers under Nova's influence? Irrespective of it all, it's a pretty ballsy move to use an Avenger's corpse as your base. Just shows that Wolverine and Marvel Jesus will not have an easy journey defeating her. Is that Lokis Elith? In the trailer's blink and you miss it scene, we see the Elith from the Loki TV show. The trailer shows Elith soaring over the Void, where many of the significant parts of the movie will occur. Of course, the Beast will be posing a major challenge to Deadpool and Wolverine, but who or what is the Elith? Well, the Elith is a trans-temporal entity that was created during the Multiversal War. He who remains, also known as Richards, used Elith's powers to win the war against his variants by weaponizing the creature. Following the war, Elith guarded the Citadel at the end of time and devoured almost everything sent to the Void by the Time Variance Authority. In simple terms, the Void is like a shark tank, and Elith is the shark. Described as a living tempest, Elith consumes matter and energy, thriving on whatever the TVA dumps into the Void. While brief contact with Elith might not be fatal, being fully engulfed leads to disintegration. Elith, initially smaller, has grown by continually feeding, especially drawn to living beings. Although Elith wasn't a major part of Loki Season 2, it still appeared in the final episode when Ravonna Renslayer was sent to the Void. Its continued appearance in the MCU, as confirmed in the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, aligns with the storyline regardless of the film's timeline placement. Who opened the portal? I know most people are assuming it was either Wong or Strange who opened the ring portal. Another strong contender is America Chavez, who was last seen training at Kamar-Taj under Wong's guidance. Now, she could be the one who did it, and it should make sense because her powers include the ability to travel between realms and universes using star-shaped portals. But let's assume for a moment that she did not, and it was Wong or Strange. Then it is quite possible that Deadpool and Wolverine dropped in to fight the final battle at the end of Avengers Endgame. Now just imagine, how cool would that be if these two were also fighting Thanos' forces all along and we did not know about it? I mean, at the end of the day, we did not get to see all the characters who fought in that epic battle, right? Damn. I for one want this. What about you? Which other mutants are returning? Azazel. Azazel, the red mutant with demonic looks, first showed in X-Men First Class in 2011 as one of Sebastian Shaw's Hellfire Club henchmen. Despite the film suggesting his death after First Class and before Days to Future Past, he appears at Cassandra Nova's Diabolic HQ. This sighting raises the question maybe he didn't really die, was instead sent to the Void? In the comics, Azazel was once considered Nightcrawler's father. However, a twist in the storyline, specifically the X-Men Blue Origins one-shot, revealed Mystique as Nightcrawler's father, who conceived him while transformed into Azazel. Jason Fleming brought Azazel to life in First Class, but it's still unclear if he will reprise his role in Deadpool and Wolverine. Lady Deathstrike. Lady Deathstrike faced off against Wolverine in the epic X2 X-Men United, where the film transformed her into William Stryker's experiment in the Weapon X project. Just like Logan, she had Wolverine-like healing powers and similarly grafted adamantium claws, a shift from her comic book origin. Kelly Hu and Hugh Jackman fought at the film's climax where Deathstrike seemed to meet her end. However, it looks like she might still exist in the Void, which means that we may get the potential for a long-awaited rematch between Wolverine and Deathstrike in the upcoming movie. Hopefully, Kelly Hu will reprise her role for this clash. Toad. Toad, played by Ray Park, first appeared as Magneto's amphibious henchman in the original X-Men film. He had a face-off with Jean Grey before Storm seemingly finished him off with her lightning strike. However, his appearance in the group shot before the Giant Man Skull hideout suggests he might have been tossed into the Void along with other characters from the Fox X-Men universe. Pyro. Aaron Stanford's Pyro also makes a return in Deadpool and Wolverine, which would make it his first appearance since X-Men The Last Stand, where he clashed with Iceman. It's shown in the first trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine that Stanford is back as Pyro, although it's unclear if he's playing the same version from the earlier films or a variant now trapped in the Void. What we do know is that Stanford reprises his role, which ensures continuity for fans of the original films. Oh, and although not confirmed, it is quite possible that Sabretooth may also return in Deadpool 3. Dogpool is finally here. After a long wait, I finally got to see Dogpool licking Deadpool's face while an explosion casually takes place in the background, and Wolverine, well, he just looks at them with disgust. Dogpool first appeared in 2010 in Prelude to Deadpool Core number 3, and met a heroic end in Deadpool Kills Deadpool number 1 in 2013. Originating from Earth 103173, Dogpool was a test subject for Mascara X. Of course, it is a spoof on the Weapon X program that messed up Wolverine. He was all disheartened after the program because people found him ugly, and he wanted to commit suicide by jumping in front of a moving vehicle, but he mysteriously survived and was later asked by the real Wade Wilson to join the Deadpool Corps, a team of Wade Wilson variants from different dimensions. These guys assembled to combat cosmic threats like the Awareness, who aimed to devour the consciousness of the multiverse. Dogpool formed a bond with Kidpool and later sacrificed himself to save Earth 616 Wade from an evil Deadpool. With the multiverse playing a significant role in the new movie, rumor suggests appearances from Kidpool and possibly the entire Deadpool Corps. I'm not sure if Dogpool is here just for a cameo or a more substantial role. Either way, I'm excited to see this mangy yet heroic dog make his big screen debut. Red Skull's Hydra Car. Interestingly, the trailer also features Red Skull's Hydra Car, although there's really not much to say here apart from the fact that it has been repainted to look like its previous owner was, I don't know, maybe Ghost Rider? But you can come up with all kinds of theories about why the car has been featured in the trailer. Where is the first scene of the trailer set? The opening of the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer features a familiar scene for Wolverine fans. It mirrors Wolverine's introduction in the early X-Men films, where Logan wins a bare-knuckle boxing match and then heads to a bar, only to be hassled by a bigot. This scenario echoes Wolverine's classic bar scenes from the 1982 Chris Claremont and Frank Miller miniseries and many other Wolverine tales. The whole Canadian thing extends just beyond Wolverine. The film also nods to Ryan Reynolds and Wade Wilson's Canadian roots, and you see Wolverine as a character is a Canadian, specifically from northern Alberta. In the trailer, you can spot the CN Tower in the background, which places the action in Toronto. Additionally, a hockey game is shown on the bar's TV featuring the Toronto Maple Leafs, humorously suggesting they're losing in the playoffs as usual. What's up with Liefield's just feet? In one of the scenes, Wolverine and Deadpool are in a battered state, probably after a lot of fights and trash talk. Here you would see two things in the background. The first one is a shop hoarding with the words Liefield's just feet. Now, Deadpool co-creator Rob Liefeld is a great artist, but he was probably always been criticized for not being able to draw Deadpool's feet. In fact, he would simply avoid drawing his feet for some reason. Another familiar bar. In the same scene where the bar named Copperheads in the background might seem difficult to recollect, if you're not deep into Marvel lore, in the comics there are two versions of Copperhead. We're talking about the lesser-known, somewhat goofy villain Davis Lawfers. He's a foe of Captain America and a part of the Serpent Society, which is basically a snake-themed terrorist group where everyone's name is snake-inspired. Truth be told, Copperhead isn't the most impressive character. He stands out more for the campiness of this concept than any real threat. There's chatter that the Serpent Society might slither its way into the next Captain America film. Given Marvel's knack for revamping characters, turning the Serpent Society into compelling adversaries could be well within their grasp. Wolverine's comic-accurate costume proves Fox was too afraid for its own good. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is finally getting a comic-accurate costume in the movie. Now, this is a serious change from his previous look in the Fox X-Men films. The trailer shows him rocking a yellow and blue suit, much like Wolverine's original outfit from his 1974 debut in The Incredible Hulk number 180. In that comic, he faced Hulk and Wendigo wearing a sleeveless yellow suit with blue gloves and distinctive shoulder pads. While the new suit in the film has full sleeves and toned-down armor for a more realistic look, it's still a nod to Wolverine's comic roots. Excitingly, the new trailer also reveals that Wolverine's costume will become even more like the comic version during the movie. How? Well, at some point his sleeves get ripped off, leaving him with a classic sleeveless look. So that was all in this one. Stay tuned because we've got much more lined up for Deadpool 3, and if you haven't yet, do check out our video on the complete explanation of Deadpool vs. Old Man Logan on our comic channel, Marvelous Long Reads. I will leave a link in the description.